Hey guys, it's Sam here. So I've noticed I've been on my phone a lot more often. So I checked my screen time and this is what I see. Literally, this is the longest time I've spent on my phone recently. I know, I feel guilty. Don't get me wrong. I always read my Bible at night, as I learned from this devotional book I read my freshman year. No matter how busy you are, you should always spend time with God. Of course, during the week I get busy with school, but I will always make time for God. Still, though I'm not gonna lie. Like most of the time, like especially during the week, I'm so sleepy by the time I start reading my Bible, so I'm all like trying to stay engaged in what I'm reading. I'm not gonna lie, sadly, I go right on my phone for a bit and then I start doing schoolwork, and as soon as I get home, and then right before going to bed is when I start spending time with God. And honestly, I've had this feeling where I'm like, okay, I feel like this isn't right how I'm waiting until the time when I'm already tired and stuff like that. And I've been thinking to myself recently, like, how much more time could I be spending with God if I wasn't so busy scrolling through my phone? I mean, John 2 to 15 to 16 literally says, "Do not love the world or the things in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the desires of the flesh, and the desires of the eyes, and pride of life, is not from the Father, but is from the world." This means that we shouldn't be loving the world because although we are in this world, we are not of it. We're of God and His everlasting kingdom. This is why I'm feeling guilty. The fact that I'm constantly on my phone is just sad, really. And I mean, what if the rapture were to happen right now, or if I were to die tomorrow? I'm sorry, I don't mean to go deep or above and beyond, but we all gotta be realistic here. Tomorrow isn't promised. What's my excuse going to be on Judgment Day? Or will I even make it to Judgment Day? Or will I get left behind? Or will I be saved in the rapture? You get what I mean? Like, these are questions you should ask yourself every now and then, like, just to check in on you and your relationship with God, you know? But yeah, although I've been feeling guilty with the phone and all, it's not too late to make it right. And this is all going to change today. Also, I gotta say, this will probably be good for my eyes, avoiding screen time and stuff for a couple hours. But yeah, so I'm going to start reading my Bible for this exact amount of time, starting now. I'm currently on Jeremiah chapter 43. So yeah, this is where I'll be starting. Alright, I just finished reading chapter 43, and I have to say, so as you guys have seen from some of my YouTube shorts, so there are a lot of like vocabulary words I'll learn literally from my Bible. And right now, I just found another word that's quite new to me. I'll have to look up the definition later. It is the word destined. So here where it says, it says in verse 11 right here, when he comes, he will destroy the land of Egypt. He will bring death to those destined for death, captivity to those destined for captivity, and war to those destined for war. So, yeah, the word destined. Notice how that word destined is like repeated, you know? So, yeah, as I said, yeah, later I will look up the definition of destined. That's something I'll have to write that down too, that way I won't forget. But yeah, so that's another new word to me from the Bible. Destined. Another new vocabulary word. Heifer or heifer. I'm not exactly sure about the pronunciation. When I look up the meaning, I'm gonna have to look up the pronunciation too. But I'm just gonna guess it's heifer. I don't know. That's just my assumption for now. Yes, I found it from this verse, Jeremiah 46, verse 20. Egypt is as sleek as a beautiful heifer. All right, I'm on chapter 47 now. So what time is it? Here, let me look real quick. It's currently 6:33 a.m. So I'm going to make myself breakfast while still reading my Bible. So yeah, I'm gonna head downstairs. As I was coming downstairs right now, I saw I've been reading for 36 minutes and 21 seconds so far. Okay, while I am currently waiting for the oatmeal to start boiling, I'm now going to move on to chapter 48. Another vocabulary word from Jeremiah 49, verse 14. Form a coalition, I think that's the pronunciation, against Edom and prepare for battle. So, the new vocabulary word would be coalition. And again, I'm just assuming that's the pronunciation. Okay, another vocabulary word, feeble, from Jeremiah 49, verse 24. Damascus has become feeble. I am heading back upstairs now, and so far it has been an hour and 20 minutes since I've been reading my Bible. All right, I'll be continuing on. I'm in the middle of chapter 50, and this is a long chapter, all right. Okay, so I'm at verse 21. So yeah, there is supposed to be, there's 46 verses. So yeah, and as I said, I'm on verse 21, so I'm like halfway there. All right, so here's some new vocabulary words I found from chapter 51. Winnow, from verse 2. Foreigners will come and winnow her. And then another one right here. Let me see. From verse 10, vindicate. The Lord has vindicated us. And verse 11, desecrate. This is his vengeance against those who desecrated his temple. Here are some verses I highlighted. All right, I am already like towards the end of chapter 52, which is the last chapter in Jeremiah. And, as I was reading Jeremiah for like literally this past month, it's like just sad, how like all these people were saying, were oh, like making this promise that they were gonna, turn to God, worship him and all that, but instead they just betray him, and that's what made God mad, and that's why he planned like famine, war, etc. as punishment. So, but yeah, and now I'm at I just read 13, where King Nebuchadnezzar. Okay, I don't know how you say it. Okay, this is his name. I don't know how to pronounce it, but anyways, so during his reign, he had burned down the temple of the Lord, the royal palace, all the houses of Jerusalem, like all the important buildings in the city. Sad, right? And I finally finished the book of Jeremiah, and so far it has been, let me see. So, my little timer right here. It's been 2 hours and 41 minutes. So yeah, it's been 2 hours and 41 minutes so far. I still got, okay, so 6 hours and 37 minutes. So then I got 3 hours and 56 minutes, if I'm correct. Anyways, so yeah, and then another thing I wanted to add to about Jeremiah. So notice how like Jeremiah, so he was always given a prophecy by God, right? And not only that, but every time the people would turn away from God, as I mentioned earlier, even after they promised they were gonna turn to him, and that is what would disappoint Jeremiah, which, I mean, who would blame him, Because it's like, what was the point of you making a promise and then you break it? Okay, now I am on Lamentations. Another vocabulary word from Lamentations 1, verse 14. Sapped. Lord sapped my strength and turned me over to my enemies. Here is more verses I highlighted. So I read the first 2 chapters of Ezekiel so far. And before I move on to chapter 3, so I just wanted to share about chapter 1 real quick. So, something I found quite interesting was like, so how do I even start? So like there was first this was mentioned, right? These figures that had like 4 faces and 4 wings, and they had like different animal kind of faces, right? And then some were also human beings. Yeah, human being faces and animal looking faces. And then another thing that was mentioned was about these human beings being like basically chased by wheels, as there was spirit in the wheels, right? So like any little thing the human beings would do, like any movement they do, they fly, run, or anything, like, or okay, well, not fly, because I mean human beings cannot, we really can't fly, but you get what I mean, right? Like any little movement like human beings would do, like that's what the wheels would do too. But again, there was spirit in the wheels. I also wanted to show you guys some verses I highlighted in chapter 2. The vocabulary word, so I found them from verse 8. So, I have made you as obstinate and hard-hearted as they are. Alright guys, so I just came back from drama rehearsal, and so as I was heading home right now, I read chapter 6. So now I'm going to continue on to chapter 7. Okay, it's been 5 hours and 13 minutes. So that means I only have an hour and 24 minutes. Okay, so I'm currently on chapter 9 and I found a new word here. So where is it? It's on verse 3. Then the glory of the God of Israel rose up between the cherubim. I think that's the pronunciation, but yeah, so that's the word. Cherubim. Again, it's just my assumption on the pronunciation. Okay, I just finished reading Ezekiel 13, and literally this is just sad. Like the fact that there were lying prophets saying that there was going to be peace in Jerusalem and that it was a message from God when it wasn't, So yeah, it was all a lie. And of course, God was angry about that. I mean, the fact that, because, they're lying, basically lying about God, right? Because they're saying that it's a message from him when it wasn't. So yeah, God was angry about it. And that's why he created, like, of course he created or I don't know if created punishments, but you get what I mean, right? Yeah. I mean, I don't know if creative punishments would make sense, but you guys get what I mean, right? So yeah. So yeah, let's see right here. So yeah, they were lying prophets who claimed peace would come to Jerusalem. There was no peace, right? And as it says in verse 22, you have discouraged the righteous with your lies, but I didn't want them to be sad, and you've encouraged the wicked by promising them life, even though they continue in their sins. Because of all this, you will no longer talk of seeing visions that you never saw, nor will you make predictions, for I will rescue my people from your grasp, then you will know that I am the Lord. Yeah, I noticed, as I finished reading Jeremiah earlier this morning, and even all the 5 chapters of Lamentations and these first few chapters I've been reading so far in Ezekiel, I noticed how, God has he has given, or not given, but like, see, like he's had people face, yeah, put it this way, he's had people face famine, war, and disease, like, as punishment, like, and it was impossible for anybody to escape any of those three. Yeah. All for, like, we're trying to, worship idols and stuff like that. This is just sad. Another thing I was noticing in Ezekiel, so I was noticing how God was like, so he would try to get like other people who were, sinning and stuff. He wanted to see what, gosh, how do I phrase this? So yeah, they wanted to see the people who were sinning. They wanted to see like the other people who were also sinning, like what they had to face as a consequence, right? So like basically that would kind of like that would basically like get the other ones, to like get their act together. So yeah, so now I'm on Ezekiel 14 verse 8. Oh my gosh. I will turn against such people and make a terrible example of them, eliminating them from among my people. Then you will know that I am the Lord. Yeah, so this is kind of what I was just mentioning. Yeah, so he's trying to make an example out of them. All right, guys, so it is currently 6:07 p.m. and I finally made it to 6 hours and 37 minutes. So I ended off on Ezekiel chapter 15, which is a very short chapter, actually. So yeah, I just finished as soon as I got to 37 minutes. I'm just wondering, how many chapters are in the book of Ezekiel? Okay, that's the beginning of... Okay, so 48 chapters. Okay, so I'm currently on 16 now, so that means I have 32 left to go, and then I will be in the book of Daniel. I have to say, it felt really good spending a lot of time with God by reading his word and, all that. And hopefully you guys try this out, because trust me, the moment you start doing it, it just, oh my gosh, it just feels good spending time with God. Seriously. I mean, especially like this much time, like, oh yes. And this could be a good discipline for you. Well, that is if you were being like how I was, like always waiting until, the time when I'm already tired, and stuff to start reading my Bible when I mean, what I did today, that comes to show how I have plenty of time during the day to spend time with him. But yeah, so I hope you liked this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. God bless you.